That way, okay. That way we always have a memory of what happened. And also we can remember ourselves if we need to look back. So what, Memo, do we want to look together at that document you started creating? Because it seems like not very much has happened offline since we last spoke. Maybe people are shy or they don't know how to use the documents. Maybe we can also edit it together and see, because what we were really trying to figure out with Memo, hopefully this week, is like who wants to be active on the editing team, basically, so that we know like who's the group that wants to move things forward, because that way then we have a little task team and we can start creating a strategy and implementing it. Otherwise we keep iterating without executing, right? So Memo, do you want to lead this, or how do you want to work today?
Yeah, I'm probably it's a good idea to present the document so that we all see that on the same screen, and possibly take a look and edit this a little bit and decide how to move on with this.
Okay. So do you want to do screen share?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
So I think that you guys already saw the recording of the past conversation. So in that recording, I explained like a little bit of the structure of this document. I start with the overview, to if you share to someone else so that that other person see and understand the context around this. I like that you, Rachel, you added this reason why, building yourselves up, that kind of thing. Was you right?
Yes, yes. Actually, I think if you click on it, when you edit, you can see who wrote it. My initials should appear. If you,
yeah. Here, right? Yeah, okay. All of
yeah.
it. Okay.
That way you can always see who put what, which is great.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote the last part is a very exciting part, because it says building collaborative relationships, others to be decided.
Yeah.
Oh, but they exist already. The last one, like to be defined, it's open for future. But with Bill, we have a collaborative relationship because we are reposting his blog articles.
All right, it was from that perspective. All right.
Yeah. Well, that's a way to keep an ongoing dialogue with him, right? Because I keep checking in with him from time to time, because I have 3 more articles that I wrote for his blog that are going to be published. I think one on Sunday and then every 2 weeks. And then I think Chelsea wrote stuff for him too. So that like we do have collaborative kind of relationship. At least we do have a dialogue. And also he has this forum space on his website, which if we interact there, you're sure to get his attention and gratitude. So post in there, interact with the people also, because there are people who are not from the bootcamp who are asking questions. And I think very often we are able to answer those. So go play in that space.
Because my view of collaborative relationships was that if one of us from the media publication doesn't attend the call, so we have to decide if we still want to be in a collaborative relationship with someone from within the team. So I thought it was something like that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, my bad. I confused it.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, so I kind of threw in some ideas, but everyone should feel free to just add or correct or anything, because we create this together so that we all are on the same page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but something that's useful when when adding comments is record the train of thought that led us there, or to any specific point. So seeing document records all of the comments even when they are resolved.
Ah, right. to keep them.
Just, I think it's better to blah blah blah.
Post. Would I
And
get a
this-
notification that you posted this?
Only
email?
only if I tag you,
Okay, okay.
or I can tag, and then everyone gets a notification.
Everyone. Okay.
And these comments are storage over here.
Mhm. Oh, cool. Oh, there's a document history. So we can always go back to previous versions, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
So I mean, it's I think that in the long run, this kind of stuff it's useful because you can turn back and see or explain to somebody or whatever why did you get up to any specific point. Right now there are no comments because I haven't. Look, if I resolve this.
Mhm. So it's pretty much like a Google Doc,
Yeah, it's pretty much like a Google Doc.
except you have the added bonus that the video links get embedded and you actually can watch things from inside that, right?
So here you have the comments history, and if you think something is relevant, you can put that back in the document.
Okay. Cool. That's really good. This is fun.
So
Sekhar, does Sekhar have access to this? Are you
Not
added?
yet.
No? Oh.
I see right now
Joining
two
the press
guests.
related meeting for the first time today.
Ah, right. You're attending for the first time. But yeah.
Okay, let me send the link to the chat of this call so everyone has it.
Mhm.
Mm,
So don't worry about that. You can continue presenting. Let me just do that.
okay.
So this is going to be a Medium blog or a newsletter.
Yeah, well, the
It-
newsletter idea that came up, somebody said, someone from the boot camp wrote me on LinkedIn and said that he thought it would be a good idea, which is why I think I wrote it somewhere in this document. We should have like a monthly newsletter where we highlight the new articles and we give any other kind of news that it just means somebody needs to organize it and run it, right? That's the thing. I mean, it's great to have, but we have to see whether it's sustainable right now.
Yeah, you put it like under here under content strategy. That this newsletter is some sort of digest, right? Like.
Yeah, it would be, so the person who spoke to me suggested, he said he would be looking at the things if there was like a digest, exactly as you say. So the image, maybe one paragraph and then the link. That would be a good way to entice people to read, because otherwise, unless people are following us on Medium, they don't get notified when something's published. And it would also, if we could have a regular newsletter, it'd be great, because then we would just get more of a community feeling, I think. And we could also send the reunion news. And you know what? If we start creating a newsletter, then we can build up a mailing list. And little by little, we would just capture the emails of the alumni who are really desiring to stay in the community. And yeah, so that would be a good thing too, right?
Yep.
And the mailing list open the door for another set of opportunities when it's big enough, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks, Shantanu. So, Sekhar, did you see the link that Shantanu posted in the chat? That's for you to access the document. But is that a direct link to just join it?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
if you click it, if you're not logging in Dropbox, it lets you see it and comment. And here it appears As you can see that a guest is currently viewing.
Oh,
So if you're not logged in,
I've
you
seen the
appear
link,
as guest.
got it.
so that's Sekar viewing as a guest.
There are 2 guests right now.
Oh, that's funny. How come? Oh, maybe it's just someone else who didn't log in. Yeah.
Well, if you Shantanu doesn't have this document open,
I don't have this open. I don't have.
oh yeah. No.
But I'm logged in as myself, right?
Yep.
Oh, I've disappeared. I saw my initials and then they left.
But from a,
Yeah.
Where am I?
oh yeah.
You appear as a guest. Probably you didn't log in with yours with this.
Huh. No, I can only log in. Oh yeah, I don't know why it said I'm signed out now. I think after a while it signs me out because to get in I have to use my Google. I'm going to sign back in and then you'll probably see my initials. It'll say RH. Allow.
I had this document open right now, but it says never viewed. But yeah, never mind. In fact, on the monthly newsletter piece, I had a suggestion. I mean, because I believe one of the biggest tasks for the newsletter would be to essentially summarize stuff and just send it out, right? And maybe give like a brief of every article that's come up.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, let me just show you something. So I think I can't share my screen for some reason.
Because Memo is
I
sharing.
will stop. I will stop. Sorry.
Oh, that's the thing. Sorry. Yeah. So in fact, this is something that could be useful. So if this is like one of the articles,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if we publish say 5-6 articles, if someone can keep a link of those, you can put it in here.
Oh,
Like a
wow. But you don't have images here, right?
yeah, no images. I think we'll have to drop and paste the images on our own selves. But I don't think there would be more than one image per article in a newsletter of sorts. So I think this would fast track the process a lot more.
Oh, so this is just a tool to pull out like 2 phrases or a one-liner for the article, you mean?
Yeah, so this is like if you give it an entire article, it'll give you top 6, top 7 points that'll summarize the crux of everything that's mentioned in the article. So it's an end-to-end.
Wow, that's cool. Did you create that?
Yeah, recently.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't use it of sorts as much. So I thought this might be a good enough to try that out.
I love that. Text summarize. Wow. And what's the criteria?
Criteria for the summarization?
Yeah.
Yes.
Same algorithm that Google's search uses. It's called the LexRank. So it basically ranks every sentence in the order of priority of importance of.
Wow. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
This is super cool. Let's use this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now, this could be, at least for our use case, it fits. So we could try it out here.
And maybe I'm thinking when we want to summarize the alumni profile interviews, we could try this too, right?
All right. Yeah. It'll work there too.
Wow. So is this a beta test or is it a prototype or does it?
Yeah, it was just some sort of a weekend project. So I thought this might be useful in this case.
Yes. I love it. Let's use this. This is cool. But are we allowed to use it or only you?
Oh yeah, we should be able to use it. I'll put it up on a link that's accessible to everyone.
Yeah, that's so, oh, wow. I'm really excited. I like that. I want to use it on everything now.
Yeah, I hope it works.
So you just put the link, and when you put the link of the whatever page it is, it'll actually go and analyze all of it?
Yep, everything.
So you don't even need to cut and paste the text?
No, you don't.
Wow. Oh, that's cool.
So if
I love it.
maybe the December one or something, and see how it actually works. It'll at least, I mean, even if it doesn't work as well, I think it'll cut down on human effort.
Oh, absolutely. I want to use this for my job as well. Because I keep having to summarize articles and create newsletters and things, and that's really interesting. Really, really
Also, you have that particular pain.
Yeah.
That addresses my pain point full on.
Okay, that's great. And Shantanu, when we have in the future millionaire endorsements, we will buy your software license.
Yes.
If it ever becomes good, I think it's not as great right now, but yeah.
Impressive.
And
So,
yeah, go.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. I keep interrupting you, sorry.
No, nothing. I just wanted to go over any other open points that we had.
Yeah, shall we go back into the document, Mimo?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll let you, maybe we run through it and see. First of all, let's see if we agree, because I typed in lots of stuff, but I don't even know whether you agree with it or not. I mean, we can change this. These are just, some of them are facts and some of them are opinions.
Yeah.
Okay. So after this overview, and Rachel, I don't know if you want to mention that here.
If I want to what, sorry?
Mention something about what you added here.
Yeah, so I just wanted to explain, because for you and I, Memo, it's obvious, but maybe not everyone knows how we began this this community press on Medium. So it was in the wake of the 24 hours online event, and we kind of kept connecting to process all the information, the videos, and all the content. So we were a group of 4. There was Memo, myself, Chelsea, and Arturo, and the 4 of us worked on just resharing all of the content. I think it was every day during August, a time when most people were on holidays. And
24 hours, 24 steps, that one.
Sorry?
24 hours, 24 steps.
Exactly, it was that one. And so we were posting in parallel into the Facebook group and onto the Mighty Network. So we actually have a whole section on Mighty Networks, which we dedicated to the 24 hours if anyone wanted to continue conversations, but that kind of never really happened. Also because Bill was doing the same thing on his blog, and we wanted to kind of also encourage people to go there. But anyway, there is that space there. But this was just to say the 4 of us kept meeting, and then we decided together that we wanted to try creating this community press space, mainly also because lots of boot campers have a love to write, and people have been publishing, and Medium allows us to import their articles, or if those articles are already published on Medium, we can actually pull them into the blog and add them to the publication. So, and then when I was speaking to Bill for other things, and he was launching his blog on his site, and I said, what do you think if we also give exposure, visibility to your work? And he said, that's great. So I spoke with Marius, who is the manager for his blog. And Marius said, just make sure you don't post the entire article, because otherwise you would get SEO penalization if you do just a copy and paste of the whole thing. So he said, just put like 1 or 2 paragraphs and then a link over, because our objective is also to drive traffic to Bill's blog. So that's kind of, and then we also asked MIT Bootcamp team, and they said, okay, fine to repost as long as we attribute correctly. And if you want to know what that means inside Mighty Networks, inside the circle about
Republic with permission, that one.
Yeah, there's a whole article. There's the conversation with Peter Biebergal from the licensing office. So there's all the details if you want to look into that.
It's very complicated.
It's quite complicated. Well, it's easier than it looks like when you start to describe it. Yeah. It looks very complicated when you see the whole text, but it's basically that you have to do it so that it's immediately apparent that we've pulled, if it's content from MIT, it just has to be like front and center It has to appear. It doesn't have, it mustn't look like it was written by us or created by us. So it's basically that. And we had to change the tagline because we wanted to call it the one stop for bootcamp content. And they said that that doesn't work because it makes us sound official. So we just said a place for bootcamp content. So it seems like we're fine. I'm still waiting for an actual answer, but I think it's fine. So reason why? So for me, this, for me, the publication is in support of our community in seeing itself and creating a future of initiatives together. So I kind of put it as one of the pillars of just reinforcing the alumni community. And of course, the name MBA2 was kind of put together once during a brainstorm about a year and a half ago. It was like, at the time, there were 10 or 11 of us only. And we just came up with this kind of fun name. It was, I think it was Chris's idea. Of course, lots of people were saying like, why is it called that? And MBA sounds strange, and not everyone agrees, but we never actually then took action to change it, because that would be a whole process in itself. But just to say that we could also one day decide we don't want to call it like this, but for the time being, that's what it's called, because it's also a way of avoiding to always use the word MIT and bootcamp, which sometimes just gets some people a bit nervous. So it's kind of it's just kind of a compromise name. And also one thing I wanted to address today with you, I'm checking with Chris, but at the time we created this name, Chris had also secured a domain, a URL, which was, I think, MBA2, either .com or .org or something. And I'm checking with him whether he's still kept that, because it might be good if we had that to build some kind of a page somewhere, because we are still missing a website, and that would be good to have. And I don't think that Mighty Networks is a replacement for a website. And now, especially for the reunion planning, Nancy and the team are trying to now, they're going to move into seeking sponsorship. And one of the things they wanted to offer, of course, is visibility to sponsors. And we can't post into Facebook because Facebook group is not, it's not administered by us. So we can't do ads in Facebook. We can't really, if we post into Mighty Networks, the sponsors won't even see it, right? Because they're not in it. So I thought, hey, we need a landing page, at least for the reunion, something that could be like a showcase window for the external world. So I am inquiring to see whether we still have that domain. If we don't, we might need to look for another solution, but it'd be great to actually do something there so that we can put sponsors, we can pin the program, and we can start to just see this thing happening. Otherwise, it's still hidden, right? It's hidden in the Mighty Networks. There's going to be an email, but we need a space where it's actually visible to us and to the rest of the world.
In fact, I believe if Chris already purchased it, it should still be with us, because the minimum purchase is for a year, and then they give you like 6 months to renew or something like that.
Oh, okay. I think he purchased it in April 2018, so maybe we're just right on the borderline, right? So I don't know whether he renewed it, and he may have decided after 18 months that we didn't do anything with it. I don't know whether he renewed it. So as soon as he lets me know, I will let you know. And I have like minimal web building capacities. I only know how to use Wix, but I can put together something. I'm sure that in the team we have people who are much better at it, probably you guys, right? So, but I also wonder like who has the time to do this. But I could create something in probably 1 hour if that were necessary, unless someone else wants to take it on, right?
Wix, of course, I mean, if we go the Wix way, anybody can pick it up, and we can even divide time between each other. But if we don't go the Wix way, it's going to be a big challenge for anybody who picks it up.
Okay, that's so is that to say you think Wix would be a good way to go?
Wix would be a good way to go.
Okay, because then then we can.
Website builder. It could be WordPress.
I don't know how to use WordPress.
we can use a template and put that up on a CMS. I mean, I have a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
So, but I think that if I don't know if I discussed this in a previous call, but I think that an important thing to note here is that if we are planning to have this kind of visibility, then we should care about, you know, the naming and the branding and everything, because I mean, if, it's not that if you put up some landing page on just that you can offer that like digital real estate to sponsors. I mean, I think it needs to come along with, you know, some sort of package or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just, you know, as it is like, hey, yeah, we will display we will display your logo on our landing page.
No,
And it's
actually,
like,
Memo, we have in the slide deck, there's a whole, so Nancy and Padma are working on slide deck, and there's actually, if you're a sponsor, there's like, it's all tiered, and according to how much you are giving as a sponsor, is that what you mean? So you actually, according to the sponsorship, you get this or that.
yeah.
So was there something about the domain name you were concerned about?
Well, probably not only the domain name. I mean, if this whole thing is about the reunion or the evolution of the network, that I think that's the case. You know, that we are making the reunion to, you know, take a step further on the network building, because, you know, we're starting to be like quite a lot of people. So like they start to take that leap of quality and confidence, you know, forward. So if we want to do that, and starting to have visibility and starting to offer that visibility attached to a financial value, we have to be very careful about, you know, who we are, who are we, you know, what represents us, what is the image that will attract people to see you sponsor with us. There are a lot of implications, and I think that it is just, you know, to put up some landing page and offer that digital real estate to sponsors. At least at this very moment. I mean, it's feasible. Anyway, I think it's feasible, but I think it's these are things that we should be thinking about.
All right.
Like
Yeah,
right
that's a good point. Also because in the context of the alumni reunion, so funnily enough, at the moment, the reunion planning is something that's kind of sitting in between the bootcamp team and our community, in the sense that, how can I explain this properly? So the reunion is going to be supported by boot camps more than what we're doing in the association. I think the association is still perceived kind of sort of like a threat. Okay, for lack of a better word, it's like that's not something they feel completely comfortable about yet, which is also why I said to Nancy, what would happen if we did create a landing page on something that's called MBA2? Because she said that they are not presenting the reunion as something that is kind of MBA2, but the MBA2 is a supporter of the reunion in the same way that boot camps is a supporter of the reunion. Does this, am I making any sense? So we're kind of, we are helping to support the reunion, but we are not the creators of the reunion, because the people who are putting the reunion together, they've stepped a little bit away from the association to make the conversation with bootcamp's team better. So when I asked her, she said that if the reunion is a featured page on the MBA2 site, that works, because it would just show that the reunion as being supported by MBA as an initiative. She just wants to make it very clear to bootcamp team that the reunion isn't like run, organized, and funded by the association, which it couldn't be funded anyway because we don't have any money. But just so that you are aware that it's kind of sitting in this funny space, like we have these different energies, and the reunion is kind of hovering in a space of no man's land. It's between bootcamp team. It's not in the alumni association, and they want to make it clear it's not like that, because otherwise we might lose the support from them.
Yep.
So kind of that's kind of it's so strange. I mean, while I describe it, I'm thinking like, this is crazy, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, there are a bunch of situations like this in the real world, but I just say that if we want to put up something and to actually deliver something like really engaging and attractive to sponsors and to people out there to start seeing what we're doing here, I think all of these things that you're talking about right now have to be clear. I mean, and they shouldn't need an explanation of someone to, if I like read an document or a PDF or something, I should be understanding things, and I should do those, and make the call to sponsor us or these guys. Well, I mean, why do I have to sponsor these events? I mean,
well, do you want to see the shall I share screen and show you the deck?
I don't know. Do you think that it's kind of it's what you have just explained, right?
No, so the deck is actually the deck for pitching to sponsors. I think some of that contains what your questions were, like, what are we to the external world, and why would a sponsor be interested in our community, right? So this hasn't been tested yet, I think, because they still need to go out and pitch, but it contains some of the, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to take a call, so I'll just be off for 5 minutes.
Go ahead.
Awesome.
So, Shantanu, long time no see, man. I see that you're still, doing amazing stuff. I'm proud of you.
Oh no, man, you're doing all of the hard work. I was just caught up with one stupid GMAT exam for the past 4 months. It's just been painful. But today was my GMAT. I finally got done with it.
What are you doing right now? Are you living in India?
Yep. I'm spending a lot of my time now applying to B schools. So I'm applying to MIT this year. In the next 2-3 weeks, I should complete that. And
for an MBA?
Yeah, two programs, in fact, the MBA and the one in analytics. So I'm still not sure if I'll go through with the analytics one, but the MBA, of course. But what about you? Are you planning B school or?
Nah, I don't know, man. I actually chose these bootcamp things because right now I'm kind of turned off by the school system out there. The educational system out there.
Yep.
The postgraduate educational system, in specifically, because I think that it's for me, and it's a very personal opinion. It's education is another way to maintain a status quo inside capitalism.
True.
So,
absolutely.
But I mean, I'm kind of like in between, and because I do want to, learn more and do all of this exciting stuff, and being inside of a school and inside of an institution like MIT,
Yep.
It puts you in a position to meet some, amazing peers and amazing people that are doing amazing things. So that's good, but it enters the conflict with this other part that I don't know. So I'm like in the middle of this thing.
Yeah. In fact, yeah, it's a big problem, and especially in the US. I mean, across the
Yeah.
board, yes, but yeah, US with the Ivy schools and stuff like that, it's a problem.
Yeah, because I mean, what I don't like is that a lot of places out there judges you by how much your title, how much you expend in your title, in
Yeah.
your your award.
Yeah.
So I mean, it gives you. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look at that thing back there on the wall. It gives you. It obviously, yeah. I mean, it obviously gives you. Some ground, to have further visibility. But
Of course.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think that it's it it relates with a lot of misconceptions and misjudgments, and I'm not very comfortable with handling those at this time in my life.
Very elitist standpoint, but yeah.
Yeah. All good, Rachel?
Yeah. Thank you. I was just waiting for a call. I needed to make an appointment, so I had to catch this.
No, all good, all good. Where were we? Oh yeah, you were about to present some slides, I guess.
I was just wondering whether this would be helpful, because this is something that we ended up not really addressing. So I'm going to show you very quickly this this deck. So hang on a second. Okay. So especially this part where
Oh.
it's like, what is the boot camp? Why is it interesting?
Yeah.
And then what the 5-year reunion is about. So we are hoping to gather more than 150 alumni and interact, solve, impact. So these are kind of, so they've been working on this for quite a long time and refining it. And this is the tentative schedule.
Whoa.
But all this is going to be shared in an email, hopefully next week. That should be sent out by the bootcamp team. So this would be like, so I think seeing this makes it just much more tangible, because all of this has been building up over time. And and then the networking event on day 4, which should be Friday 13th, we've already gotten Bill's, like he has committed to being there for us. And so this is kind of what's going to be pitched to the sponsors, like what's in it for you. And so that's why when we got to this part, which is types of sponsorship and organizational logo on website, and we suddenly realized we don't have a website, right? So that needs to be addressed in some way, because otherwise, what are we giving them in terms of online visibility? So we could be posting lots of stuff, but then if we want to pin the logo somewhere, we need to have a place to pin it.
Oh, that's 100K US dollars?
I think so.
Whoa.
Aiming high. I don't know whether this will need reiteration, but this is what it's at the moment. And I think, like, I haven't really been working on the slide deck, but they have been working with lots of people who are also in the space of fundraising. So I'm just think that this is quite exciting.
Now I'm thinking.
Great.
So there is this thing, right? So there is this deck, and it's Nancy, Nash, Lucy, and Padma who are holding this. So just to let you know that there is there's all of this happening also. Meanwhile, and I know we did have a call to kind of brainstorm vision and mission, and we didn't really kind of end up with something, but I think from that we can probably also extract what we are going to, how are we going to package ourselves to the outside world. And I think that slide deck will probably give us clues as to how we set up a landing page. And I think there's enough strong content there that we can actually build something that will make sense.
In fact, there was a next step on me last time, which I missed, was to take a note of all of the coaches and the mentors we could reach out to. So maybe as we're doing alumni profiles, we could do mentor or coach profiles or something, stuff like that. I
Okay.
could put that in the Dropbox thing if you'd like. I'll take the next step for the.
Great. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, sometimes we lose track of the to-dos, right? Because we make lists and then we get busy and we forget. And if someone doesn't hold you accountable, it just slips off the radar.
Just put that.
What are you? Do you have ideas, comments, objections of any kind?
Some of the mentors were also boot campers, right, in the past.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Have we spoken to them about this association, and what do they feel? What do they think?
Sorry, to whom?
I think Inga, for example, Inga
To who, sorry?
Stastilinite.
I didn't catch the name. To whom? Sorry.
Inga.
I'm saying some of the mentors were themselves were boot campers before.
Yes.
So, have we spoken to them about this association, the thing that we are doing, and we have? So, what do they think about it?
So different people think different things. So I like Inga. Did you mention Inga?
Yeah, Inga.
Yeah. So I know Inga from 2016 because she was she came and mentored us when we were in Boston in 2016, and she knows about the Alumni Association project. So she today, for example, I shared an article she published 3 days ago, and I haven't asked her to come and speak because I didn't think of it, and I could ask her. I just know like she's super busy. I don't know whether she'll be in Boston during that time. It might be that if she has business in Boston anyway, then she might drop in. But that's a good point. I will ask her. I asked Marius, who was our mentor, the guy who he's the founder of Eternomy, and he's the one who created also the toolbox, the Disciplined Entrepreneurship Toolbox. And I asked him, and he said 90% he won't be in Boston. So we are not really at the point where we can actually, like, I don't know whether, I don't think we'll get to the point where we can invite someone to speak in return for a fee. I think we have to just be, for now, probably just based on people's goodwill. So it has to work with their schedules, but there's no harm in asking. And if you, Zekhar, if you can think of anyone that you would like to reach out to ask them, then I think the only thing is you would probably need to coordinate that through Nancy and make sure, like, we don't want to end up having asked 30 people and then 15 say yes and we don't have space for them. That would be ridiculously optimistic, but just to make sure that we're not kind of shooting ourselves in the foot.
I got it.
So for any of that kind of thing, be sure to check with Nancy, because she's coordinating. Nancy, Padma, and Lucy are the three who are coordinating this, but especially Nancy. So if you have any ideas regarding reunion, please connect with her about that.
So Rachel, do you think that we should talk to Nancy about this this conversation? I think it relates with the mission, vision, that kind of stuff, and to come up with something and start. Because seeing your presentation, it sounds exciting. It sounds like there's a lot of potential, but I see all of the stuff that we are offering to sponsors, stationery, website, all of that stuff comes along with some sort of communication, right? And if it's not related or intrinsically related with the MIT Bootcamp team, and it's not related to Bootcamp Association, Alumni Association, then who is this? What is this thing? Is this a first event of a series of annual events? Sponsored? All of those questions start coming up, and I think we right now we don't have an answer for all of those questions.
Plus, we're gonna charge them $100.
Yeah, that's very true. We need to get clarity on that because yes, the leverage we have is like it would be MIT name, and how we use that on the website completely depends on lots of other things which are not in our power to decide. So that needs a conversation, definitely. It's not like we could just put a landing page and put MIT.
Yeah.
That's very
true. I can help with the design of the landing page. That's no problem. But I mean, I just started to think about like what to put on that landing page, and all of these questions started to come up.
Absolutely, you're very right.
I think the TLO will come into picture as well, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm also thinking, because we touched upon the communication topic, actually for us to be, even if we did have a landing page now, for us to be interesting to sponsors, we would really need like a Twitter account with 1 million followers. We would need an Instagram account with, I mean, otherwise, like, who are we? So of course, we cannot build that up in a month. No way, not even in a year. So that raises like big question marks too. Like how, so maybe at the end of the day, the landing page might not be a good idea. Because it would just expose all that is lacking. Because we should have social media channels for all these things.
Yep.
But I mean, I think that comes with when you start thinking in that way, it may seem like it's an overwhelming thing because those kind of structures build with time, you know, and we all know that. But I also think that if we do like some exercise of prioritization of what is more important to have at this point and be very transparent of what are we right now and what are we, aiming to become. I think it's because, I mean, we're not lying to everyone and that's the thing, you know, if we don't have social channels, then we shouldn't, just create and buy followers and pretend that we're online. So I think that if we have like a solid grounds on this, I think that's enough. And if we communicate that, and I think people value transparency, and I think the patients that we have are more than enough to something that's engaging.
Also, I'm suddenly remembering actually the idea that we had, which I forgot now as I was speaking, was that if there are 150 boot campers going to the reunion, we all have social media accounts and LinkedIn profiles and Twitter accounts. So if we start sharing to our networks, then actually if we did map out what our reach and our networks and like that, there would be a lot of amplification of what we're doing. So like if we're posting pictures, if we have hashtags or handles for certain sponsors, then we would be creating visibility not through a particular website, but just through our human network and where we can reach as individuals. So that I think that probably needs to be visualized in some way, like through a diagram or something, like 100, like if we hypothesize 150 alumni and each of us have something between 100 and 1,000 people on LinkedIn, and we all start posting, that could actually create a lot of effect.
But you're talking about impact, right? I mean,
just
let's
visibility.
Say that,
visibility.
Yeah. Okay. That we together have like much more visibility than one profile. Is that what you're saying, right?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that together, if we were to put together all of our personal networks, we'd be very many, because when you post something, your bootcamper friends will see it, but also people who are from your other circles, not just bootcamp, right? So in fact, when we're all together and we compound our networks, we have a very big reach, I think.
Of course, yeah.
So that's what should be interesting for sponsors, and probably that's what we need to market when we pitch.
Yeah. So just thoughts. I think it's really useful to have this to have a knowledge of all these things, because in the end those are the things that will leverage us to another level, right? And that's what we want. So and I mean, if we are introducing this the medium plus in all of this, then again there should be some sort of alignment of all of these efforts, right, to communicate to the outside world. So yeah, just things that to have in mind. Probably we should have a call with Nancy and talk them through.
So Nancy, did you want to meet with her separately, because otherwise the calls are on Mondays? That's when did she invite you to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you could try and be on that one, because that's a good time to brainstorm ideas, and I think she's very keen.
Okay. 10 a.m. right? Or right, in America time. Your time it's 4.
It should be at, oh, I don't remember, because it's been changed once or twice and I won't be there, but I think it's at 11 a.m. Eastern. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? I think.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? What is our to-do list from today?
I know mine is to add the mentor alumni names of people we can reach out with some content.
Great, thank you. That'd be great.
Something on the newsletter.
Yes, do you want to, Shantanu, do you want to have a go using your text summarizer to create like a list, and like a list of maybe 5 or 6 articles that could be like the first draft for a newsletter, and then we can maybe work on it together, and maybe we do something from MailChimp.
Great. Let me take a note of that.
Okay. So
I think it'll be useful to put due dates to these, at least for our internal understanding, so we don't skip or miss things anymore.
Oh, due dates. How much do we give ourselves? We give ourselves a week?
Yeah, for the mentor profiles, I'll take 2 days. For the newsletter, yes.
Okay. Newsletter draft 1 week. Then I'm leaving next week. I'll be 2 weeks away, traveling in a workshop. So I can only check in like offline via email or chat or whatever. So, but if you want me to set up a call for you guys, I can set up a Zoom room if you want to connect. I can create it and then let you go in it and use it.
In fact, I mean, I can't really interpolate how we really need that in the next 2-3 weeks. So maybe if anybody wants to connect, we could just do that on Google Hangouts for a couple of weeks up until then.
Yeah, so by all means, use the either use the circle or use the WhatsApp group just to line. And
so you're not going to be in the Monday call?
No, I won't be on Monday. I'll be away until the 25th. So that's when I resurface.
Oh, okay.
But I'll try and check in via email with everything that's going on, so I don't track. And you can always email me. You'll get an automatic response, but I will still read it.
No problem. Then I will raise this identity issue in Monday's call.
Oh, great. Cool.
I will update you with an email or something.
Super. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
And I think that relates to what we're doing with the medium. to stay on topic because this call was about content strategy. But I mean, it's the same thing because it addresses the same stuff, I think.
Yes, because it all align along a central axis, right?
Yeah.
And I think the Medium blog can be a one strong anchor, for gaining visibility and
Yeah.
sponsorships.
True.
Yeah.
You almost said one stop, and I was like, no, not that. Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I have to go because I have a meeting now. I have to hop on another call.
Great.
We have our next steps. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'll do a quick recap into our circle.
Awesome.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks.
See you guys. See you,
Have a good
Shantanu. Bye, Sekhar.
Bye, Sekhar. Bye, Memo. Bye, Shantanu.
Bye.